Let's talk about Valheim. Valheim is an early access game you can buy on Steam for about $20. Now, I'm not big on survival games. I play MMORPGs like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV. I also play RPGs like GTA 5 and the other Final Fantasy installments. I've seen other people playing this game, and something about it made me think I had to give it a shot. And spoiler alert, I wasn't wrong. So far, I have 30 hours played with just 4 sessions to play, and I wish I had more time to play. Yeah, I know it's crazy. Although the game is not an MMO, it does have multiplayer functionality. I have not tried that yet, but it's nice to know that I have that option if I ever get bored with the solo experience. Valheim is a survival game with strong RPG elements, ocean exploration, a great building system, admittedly janky graphics, and an intriguing combat system. Valheim does have strong RPG elements. When you first zone in, a quest is given to kill a boss. That is where your adventure begins. That is the interesting thing about this game. You have a main objective, kill the boss. But the way you accomplish that, and when you decide to do that, is completely up to you. You are left completely free to explore and prepare however you wish. You are only limited by your own skills and equipment. Venture out too far into the dark forest or mountain biomes, and you get what you deserve. When you finally work up the nerve to kill the first boss, you access a pickaxe. This one item allows you to progress further into the game. Mining copper and tin allows you to create bronze. At this point, your gear and access to recipes allows you to venture out farther and wider. Not completely without fear, but with more confidence. You naturally discover underground burial sites full of skeletons and ghosts. You aren't directed to them, but you find them naturally. So even though I wasn't given a quest, my curiosity got the better of me, and I had to check it out. I also happened upon the troll cave. Inside was a huge troll. Killing trolls is a challenge in open spaces where I can kite them and riddle them with arrows. I was not sure I should attack the troll or just leave. I couldn't help myself. I went for it to my own demise. The close quarters combat with the troll was too much for me. I ran back, hoping to zoom in and grab my stuff. That was a bad idea. The troll made quick work of me. At this point I was nervous. What if I wasn't able to get back to my body and retrieve my upgraded items? It wasn't going to be fun gathering all of the mats at that weakened state. I decided to give it another try. I made another bow, and I put on some old armor I had in my chest. I made it to the entrance of the cave, took a deep breath, and I dove in. It was epic. I ran, I dodged, I archered my way to victory. Is archered a word? Probably not, who cares? It felt so rewarding. I had triumphed. So, what is the point here? The game up until this point had only given me one boss quest so far and hinted at another boss to prepare for. To be honest, I'm still working on learning how and where to summon the next boss. With only this to work with, I've created my own adventures seemingly all by myself. I hadn't had this much fun playing a video game in a long time. So even though this is a survival game, the role-playing aspect is very strong. Did you ever want to build a ship and sail the open seas in a video game? Explore the unknown, discover new areas and creatures? You build your own raft or boat, and off you go. Good luck. The decision is yours. I decided I wanted to try to sail around my continent. I got most of the way down one shore and changed my mind. A storm came up while I was out to sea and was pretty intense. I had a few of my upgraded items on me because I figured I might need to make a landing in a hasty camp, but Mother Nature had other plans for me. I made it back to the home base I had built and decided I would try sailing again later when I had a ship and some spare gear. I wasn't afraid of losing. It was still quite the adventure nonetheless. I love building in this game. First off, let's put this into context. I am not a fan of survival games. I don't play survival games, I play MMOs. So, my experience with building in video games is, well, like no experience at all. Nonetheless, I found the building intuitive and simple. I've discovered it can be quite complex. You can snap together a shack in no time with a floor, walls, and a roof, but if you really want to build well, you need to start from the ground and work your way up. You need to prepare the ground and level it. Then you can put in support beams and on and on. My first major build felt satisfying. I made a few mistakes, but my next build will be better. Also, when building, you don't only need to calculate erecting the structure itself, you need to think strategically. Every once in a while, the game will throw what I describe as assaults at you. The forest begins to move, and mobs will rush your structure. If you don't have proper defense planned and built, things can end badly for you. I've been lucky so far, and I have strengthened my complex in anticipation for the worst. Hopefully I will remain lucky. Losing all that I have built would be a devastating blow. But I have the knowledge and skills to build it all back if need be. I love this about the game. I was never told you have to learn to build more than just a shack. First off, who wants to live in a shack? I wanted to build a safe and comfortable place to sleep, but the game also nudged me into building an even more intricate compound with a trench, a palisade, multiple levels, and fieldworks. Come at me, trolls. We have to talk about the graphics. When I first logged in, I have to admit I was quite disappointed. I'd heard the graphics weren't great, but I have to admit, it still caught me by surprise. Everything is blocky and janky looking, for lack of a better word. Beyond that, you need to turn down the foliage settings to see the items you need to collect, so it all looks even worse. I'm thinking of cranking mine up a couple of notches again because I know what I'm looking for now, and I'd like a little more ambiance when I interact with the environment close up. As you play the game though, you just kind of forget it. You simply become immersed in the world. I even catch myself coming across a vista from time to time and uttering, "Wow, that's beautiful." You just have to trust me when I say this. Really, I know we don't know each other very well, you and I, but the graphics do not matter. Really, they don't. Enough said about that. Now, let's move on. Combat is simple. I have an attack button. I have a strong attack button that I never really use. I have a block button. I have a dodge. I have a sprint. I was also given a special buff that I can activate from time to time after killing the first boss. That is combat, but it's a bit more nuanced than that. Combat is easy to learn and difficult to master. Your hit points, stamina, health regeneration, and stamina regeneration are based on the food that you eat. Your defense and your attack are based on the gear you're wearing at the time. Also, status effects like wet and cold can affect your combat effectiveness. In the end, stamina management is key. If you lose all of your stamina, you will not be able to run, attack, or block. I've heard people complain about the stamina system. I actually love it. You can't just go rushing in without a thought to the consequences. You may decide to forego a fight on a rainy day that you would have no trouble engaging on a sunny day. Nothing tells you not to do something you want to do. The question is, should you? All I'm saying is the combat is fun. Stamina management is the combat system. Learn how to work with it. Lastly, as a side note, as far as I can tell, I could take off all of my armor and eat only mushrooms and berries and not have much more of a combat advantage than I did at the start. This intrigues me. I have a buff and weapon skills, but I can only advance into dangerous biomes if I come prepared with the gear and supplies needed. I'm not an overpowered hero, I'm a human, in quotes here, using the resources at hand to ensure success. Let's review. Although Valheim is a survival game, the player's interaction with the world gives it a strong RPG feel. You're not only limited to exploring landmasses, you can also embark on epic ocean journeys. The building system is fun, easy to use and engaging. The graphics simply don't matter. I actually find them charming at this point. Lastly, the combat system is simple yet consequential. Listen to me. If you have $20 to spend on a video game, buy this one. There is no contest. Cannot imagine you'll be disappointed. Thank you for tuning in. That'll do it for this video. Make sure you check the links in the description for links to my Twitch and my Twitter. I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more Valheim content there in the future. Until next time, make sure you turn on war mode.